everybody, welcome back to my channel. I'm Paige, this is Seeking Alexandria, and today, we're coming at you with a new foundation. Oh Lord, child, we have the Bareminerals barePro Performance Wear Liquid Foundation Broad Spectrum SPF 20 Foundation. And I picked this up in the shade Fair 01, of course. Like, what other color would I buy? And I figured we would, check this bad boy out. Ooh, I like this. And that actually looks like it'll be a nice pasty color for my face. Now, I picked this up, and while I was scrolling through, I was like, I always look for, they released a new foundation. Did they by chance release a new primer that I can try? So, as I'm looking through these, I scroll around, and it's, recommended with this brush. And I was like, girl, listen, you better be a fabulous little brush for me to care about you, because I don't remember how much it cost, but I want to say it was, $30 or $34. I was like, child, man, the only brush I spend that much money on are my IT Cosmetics brushes, and that's because I'm feeling extra fancy that day. So basically, it is this is the side profile, so it has a slight taper to it, domed down to the front, and then, stiff on the back. And they said in the description when you're using this that, you're supposed to kind of work it small strokes from the inside out, and blend it into your hairline and down, so that way your skin or your foundation looks like skin, not foundation. So I thought we would go on and we would read about this foundation real quick, just so that way we know that Paige doesn't talk out of her ass the whole time she's on the camera. Although, let's face it, it's one of my favorite things to do. Oompa loompa doompity doo. I need you to load right now. Okay, nope, still not there. So in the details section, it says that these always ship free. Bareminerals foundation always get free shipping on your entire order. I always hit the minimum, so it doesn't really matter, but, fun fact, it all here. So, let's see here. Bareminerals barePro Performance Wear Liquid Foundation redefines what long wear means. I will be the judge of that. A good for skin, high performance formula that blurs pores and imperfections while improving the appearance of skin texture over time. With 24-hour wear in a range of natural matte finish shades, it works and plays as hard as you do. I don't know about that. I work pretty damn hard. Just one pump delivers lightweight, oil-free, photo-friendly full coverage. barePro Performance Wear Liquid Foundation is powered by specially developed mineral lock long wear technology that blends mineral pigments with lipids naturally found in skin to lock in all day full coverage. Something about bamboo that we're not going to read, blah, blah, blah. Nobody cares. Literally, this goes on forever. 7 hours later. And then there's a bunch of stats in here about independent clinical trial of 31 women. 31% had improved skin texture and blah, 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 blah. But I don't think that it says how much, what's the coverage? Was it medium to full? Okay, so basically it's just supposed to be good for your skin. Whoops, sorry. I try to swear less on my channel, but it's not working lately. Now, I do have this brush, but I did also wet my beauty blender and wash it down, just in case. Because do I foresee me loving this brush? No. But I'm open to it. So let's go ahead and let's pump some of this out here. Okay, no. Is that not going to happen? Oh, it's a locking lid, so you have to turn it for foundation to come out. Gonna be a long day. Oh, that's liquid. Okay, I don't know what kind of coverage I'm supposed to do. That is straight. It's traveling down my arm. Okay. Straight up liquid. We're going in with a brush. We're going to try this small stroke, whatever. I don't know. Oh, and I did already obviously wash, prime, and prep my face. Obviously. Oh wow, this is light. This is the color of my concealer. That's okay, we can work with this. It's called bronzer, wow. It's called bronzer. We can work with this. So I can see where this brush would be semi-useful. It definitely does help sheer it out. That definitely does sheer it out. I look like a ghost. Okay, let's keep going. So I will give it the fact that it does. I mean, I used about half of the product that was on my hand. And it does do a very nice job of shearing out over the face. And I don't hate this brush. I honestly thought I was gonna hate it, and I don't, which is kind of crazy. And I think too, for as well as it sits into the skin, it delivers coverage. I'm really red all up in here, and this is really lessened. I think this is buildable. Now, I am going to go ahead and do part of this with my beauty blender, because I'm what if people are not as extra as me and they need to know, do you have to buy the brush? Well, we're going to find out, because we're going to try it with beauty blender. and see if we can get some kind of coverage. Okay, so obviously it didn't go nearly as far with the Beauty Blender. And that might be why they want you to use the brush, is because it is so liquidy that I can totally believe that, you know, like 40% of my product just got absorbed. Like I just used the rest of what was on my hand, and no. So we're gonna go ahead, we're gonna put some more on my hand. We're just gonna keep going to town. So I don't hate it with the Beauty Blender. I do feel like I gave up a little bit of not coverage, I'm sorry. Like product, well, maybe a little bit of coverage. I don't really know yet. Like I'm having a hard time because part of me feels like the only reason I'm liking the brush more for coverage is because it's depositing more product. But then like I shear it out and it still looks really nice. So I'm kind of shook. And you guys know me, like I'm a tried and true beauty blender. Like I'm team blender over here. But I feel like with this brush and this formula, I do get better results, I think, with the brush. But like the Beauty Blender work too, you're just going to have to give up a little more product. So it's kind of where you don't mind, you know, like if you got enough money and you can buy the foundation, but you don't want to, you know, spend the extra, what is it, like 30 some dollars on this friggin' brush? Girl, don't. Use your Beauty Blender. Or maybe even a flat top kabuki. That might work. I don't know how well because I could totally see this getting streaky, but I am having an issue with the brush. It's not depositing it on my nose. Like I have a red strip on my nose, which is kind of irritating me. But like when I go in with the blender, that goes away. So overall, I think that this foundation, I look insane, I think, on camera. Okay. Like what's funny is it actually, like in person, it doesn't look bad at all. Like in person, you'd never know this was not my shade. That's freaking hilarious. Okay, anyways, that caught me off camera. Like I looked in the viewfinder and I can't hardly see, but what I do see is Casper. But I promise in real life, it actually does not look awful. Anyways, I'm going to go ahead. I will finish up my look and I will come back on here and like tell you how everything layered. But so far, it does have a little tack to the finish, so obviously it will need to be set. I think it is buildable, like to like right around, I would call this like medium-ish coverage. And obviously, you know, the coverage depends on your blemishes and how red. Mine are pretty red and they're pretty covered in this area. So I'm looking okay in that sense. I am probably going to have to help with my Shape Tape a little bit just to kind of, you know, round out the lack of all the red, because I don't really want that much red on my face. But overall, I don't hate this so far. Like it doesn't really have a smell. Like it's just, so far it's nice. And by the way, this bottle is like quality bottle. Like it's heavy and awesome and intense. And you do get 1 fluid ounce. So it is a standard amount of product as well. While I'm at it, let's look up those prices real quick. So this foundation is $34. Yeah. And this brush was $30. Now, okay. Do you need the brush? Now, like you could use your Beauty Blender. Whoops, I dropped that. But you also need to realize that if you do not choose to get this brush, you will probably be using a fair amount of more product because your Beauty Blender is going to soak it in. But I feel like that's true of all foundations. Like we don't ever buy a foundation expecting to, you know, get better or more out of it with a Beauty Blender. I don't think. At least I don't. I go into it pretty much going like, yep, 30% of this bottle is going to get soaked into here. Like, you know, I own it, I live with my life, and I move on. Okay, I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to finish my face, and I will come back at the end of the face beating process, and I will tell you what I think so far. Alright, so I went ahead, I got my full beat on, and I never get tired of saying that. I'm like, I got my full beat on. I got like a dance going. Okay, anyways, Paige, focus. So, a couple things to note. I do feel like this was a little bit patchy, but for me, that is so common. Like I say in every video, a lot of my foundations apply patchy and then smooth out within like an hour and a half. And I put that in every video, so when you get sick of hearing it, like, I'm sorry, but, you know, always new people come into this channel and they need to know that, like, my face is weird. So, that's a good way to start. So, it did have a little bit of that patchy quality to it. I do have the feeling, honestly, that it's going to even itself out, because just in the last like half hour, I do think that it's had a lot of nice evening effect. I was able to make this color work a lot better for me. I don't look nearly as pasty in the finder, and that's good. Not that I can see, but you know, whatever. I do think that it's set down very nicely. It's melding really well with a lot of the other products. I had to do some intense blending on the bronzer, and I thought for sure I was going to end up lifting a layer of foundation. Like, I mean, I was in there, and it didn't lift. So I was like, check, number 1. Number 2, I went in with my highlight. Ooh, girl, yes. Okay, Jeffree Star. Jeffree Star in Princess Cut, one of my favorite colors of all time. Oh my good Lord. Anybody, how do you not love that? Like, I could just, like, seriously. Oh, okay. I swatch everything. It's like it's my jam. I'm like in the store, like swatching like peanut butter. No, okay. I'm gonna go. I'm really tired. I'm gonna get going. I have a full day ahead of me. I will check back at the end of the day, let you know how this wore, all that good stuff, do a close-up, all of our usuals, and I will talk to you guys very soon. Okay, you guys, it is the end of the day. This stuff has been on my face for... Wow, this stuff has been on my face for 10 hours. I did not realize it had been that long. I do have a couple of things to note. It was doing really, really well. It hit about that 6-hour wall, which is really, I guess, common for my foundations, and I never noticed it. But it did hit that 6-hour bam, and that's when I started to notice the oil getting pretty intense on the nose, and I had to blot. Other than that, though, I didn't notice the breakup was getting bad until about hour 7-ish, 7, 8, which is really good, which I know sounds like really pathetic, like, oh, it didn't totally break up before the end of the day. But on my face, breakup, as you guys have seen 100 times, is pretty common. I've only found a couple of foundations that, you know, don't break up this bad. I will zoom you in, give you the close-up, and then we will talk. Okay, so apparently, you know, don't mind the baby style tears that I had transferred down here. Don't know what that is. There we go. So we did get some cakeage happening here. We got some breakup under the eye. That is gonna drive me nuts. What happened there? Oh, okay, never mind, I sneezed. I remember. I kind of felt like my bronzer and blush and all that stayed pretty well. Overall though, I think one of the biggest issues I did have with this was transfer. Like, it is not one of those foundations where you can, like, you know, hug somebody. Like, I hugged, who was it? I hugged somebody and like it came off on their shirt and I was just like, and it wasn't just like a little, like, oh, like they drug it and like a little bit came off. It was like a full-on face print on their shirt kind of thing, which is not really what you want when you hug somebody. I think part of this foundation and part of what might help it, I would try a different translucent powder. I have noticed I've been using the Beauty Bakery one a lot lately because I was loving it. And I think the deal is that is a heavier, at least on my face, it sits a little bit heavier than some of like my RCMA or even my Lottie London. Those are a little bit lighter on my face. So I think I will try this again with maybe a lighter setting powder and kind of see if that helps. But overall, I think it wore very nicely. I think that the coverage was okay, like I said before. I do feel like somehow we had a little bit more discoloration come throughout the day, but overall, it's nothing that I would hate on. Now, this box does, I wanted to double check and make sure, they call it itself the performance wear. Now, I don't know that I would agree with performance wear. I think that it would work a lot better if I didn't have to build it up so much. One thing that I've really noticed is that if you are struggling with like cakey foundation face, like I struggle with that constantly, one of the main things I have noticed is if you can shear down the amount of coverage you need at all, do it. Like, if you don't have much redness up here, so it doesn't take a lot to cover it, shear that down. If you don't have, like, if you're not like me and you don't have anything like on your jawline, if possible, shear that foundation down to like nothing. Because as we saw when I did my e.l.f. foundation review, when it is a very thin layer, thin consistency, thin in pigmentation, there's not much to break up. So even as it wears, it still looks really good. And I think one of the problems that I keep having and that I've had for a long time is that for the majority of my face, I have to have a ton of coverage because I have red spots all over my face. Well, I've slowly been transitioning into, instead of, you know, making sure I have full coverage on the entire face, I've been going for a thin coverage and then just trying to really spot cover the areas that I need. And that really has helped to limit a lot of like cake in this area and a lot around the nose. Today was also not a great day because I held my dog and she sheds like crazy. I'm probably like covered in hair for this video, but drop something else. But I had a lot of hair on my face because I kissed her and then it stuck to my face and I was just like, ah. And so I was wiping it off and I think I might have wiped off some of the foundation that way. So that's why I'm not really holding it like 100% accountable, because I did touch like this area of my face more than usual today, trying to get like the dog hairs off. But overall, I actually don't hate this foundation. Like, is it a straight no? Absolutely not. It wore really, really beautiful. The patchiness that I was worried about this morning, that I was like, oh, you know, I'm hoping that goes away. It did go away, and it blended into the skin beautifully. This sat for them 6 hours. Them 6 hours. I sound really smart, but for those first 6 hours, it really did sit gorgeous. I actually really enjoyed too that when I first put this on, I was like, wow, this is really, really white. Like, it looked really pale, but it set so nicely into the skin. Like, when I tried my Laura Geller foundation, it actually somehow made me look like dustier, and it made me look more pale throughout the day. And this one blended so well into the skin that it matched my natural like undertone and pigmentation, that I felt like the match turned out to be beautiful. And that's like even in places where I didn't have bronzer. Like, it looked very nice. So the overall finish of this, I enjoy a lot. Like I said, I am gonna try it out with a lighter finishing powder, setting powder, that kind of thing. Maybe see if I can work with it that way. Maybe try it with the velvetizer. That might be a way to give it like a little bit of something, but not a whole lot. And at the end of it all, like, I will probably let you guys know at the end of August. August, by the way, can we talk about the fact that August is here? What? Huh? Whew. I had a heart attack. I was writing a check for the business today, and I was just like, August, I'm sorry. Where did summer go? I must have missed that when it flew out my window. Okay. Where have you been, Paige? You've been in your room taping videos. But anyways, I'll probably let you know in my August end, and like, you know, let you know if I found a good combination, how I like to wear it. Today I did pair it with the Milani Prime Shield primer, so I thought that was gonna be a good option. Maybe I'll try it with that Smashbox primerizer. That's been working pretty well. Overall, I actually don't hate this. Like I said 100 times, I'm gonna keep working with it. I'll see. When this video first goes up, it's not gonna be in the comments, but as it goes on and I keep kind of wearing it and trying to make it work for me, I will leave updates in the description box as time goes on, like how I wore it, if I was able to make it work. And there will probably be like an ultimately either this is a combo I liked, or no, I had to return it and this is why. So I'm gonna get going. I'm gonna take it off my face because I'm done with this day, and I will talk to you guys all later. Bye. I don't know where I put the bottle. Girl from the south side, raising her hair. Woo. Walk by, but fell up on my chair. Oh! Body like a barePro, driving with my eyes closed. I'm curve like the back of my hand, doing 15 in a 30. I ain't in no hurry. I'ma take it slow, just as fast as I can. Isn't that right, baby poop?